In today's news, BVI Business is accused of price increases as we continue to monitor the coronavirus.
Anguilla joins the Caribbean in the fight against the COVID-19 virus.
Honorable Sharie De Castro is appealing to young people in the territory, of course, amid the coronavirus crisis.
2 arrested for breaking curfew.
And your official countdown to the lockdown tonight at 8 p.m. to wait for media suggestions on what you can do while you're on curfew as well. These and more stories.
And 284 News returns.
Yes.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
When you need to stay connected with friends and families at home or abroad, the best choice for you is Freedom. CCT Freedom. With the lowest rates in the market, our Freedom plan gives you unlimited calls and texting. Plus, our Freedom One package includes 10 gigabits of super fast unlimited LTE data and unlimited calls to the BVI, USA, USVI, Canada, Puerto Rico, and UK lines. Why pay for overages when you can enjoy CCT Freedom? Stop by at one of our stores today and speak with one of our representatives to find out more about our CCT Freedom packages.
Welcome, viewers. It's Friday, March 27th, 2020. I am Kyla Kenesha Forbes.
And my name is Javon Wilson. Now, viewers, the countdown is officially on. The countdown to the lockdown, of course. Tonight at 8 p.m., the BVI goes into a mandatory curfew. There's a lot of information coming your way, but we'll just head into our first story for today, and that regards price increase we've seen in the BVI over the last couple of days. Now, since the onset of the coronavirus, Premier of the Virgin Islands met with the supermarket operators and wholesalers and local freight and cargo shipping companies to discuss precautionary measures in response to the virus. Now, in response to concerns of price gouging and other related matters, the Premier of the Virgin Islands said, quote, "Your government has zero tolerance for this type of behavior, this type of negative behavior," he said. Now, that was earlier on a few weeks ago, Kyla. Now, we were told just today that, some of the businesses who were warned against these unnecessary price increases have apparently been raising their prices. Again, we've received several reports from customers accusing local businesses of jacking up their prices in light of the crisis. Scores of customers, as you can see across the screen in the BVI, took to social media to complain about the sudden inflation, posting images, as you can see, proving that indeed this here is a real issue in the British Virgin Islands. So, Kyla, what we see here is, unfortunately in the BVI, we have no price gouging laws to protect customers in the absence of a Consumer Protection Act bill. And so one of the things we see here is a lot of persons are looking to the government to see how much control they have over this situation. Now, we can reflect easily on the situation in 2017.
Most definitely.
In the immediate aftermath of Irma, we had terrible situations, instances of price gouging right here in the BVI. And sadly, Kyla, a lot of us couldn't even get the essentials that we wanted because we couldn't afford it. That was the reality here in the BVI, and it was terrible. Today, we see a similar situation, especially where some of our essentials that are needed are out of stock, and a lot of them, the prices have been jacked up. So, as per usual, we reached out to the government, specifically Honorable Andrew A. Foy, who said today, quote, "Your government is working feverishly to have the House of Assembly to pass the different consumer protection legislation as well as the Virgin Islands Trade Commission. This process started before COVID-19 and will soon be completed upon the consumer bills being passed in the House of Assembly and assented to thereafter. The BVI will ensure the protection of both customers and businesses while boosting our economy in the midst of these difficult and unprecedented times. Now, as we speak, the House of Assembly is currently in session, so I'm sure hopefully by the end of the session today that bill will be passed, and again in protection of not just our consumers, where we're seeing a lot of persons complaining, but also fair practices for our business owners as well. There is some amount of reassurance coming from the government, but what I'm really worried about in this situation, Kyla, is the fact that I think as residents of the BVI, as business people, as consumers, I really do think like we continue to drop the ball on each other. And, you know, it begs the question, like, why are we trying to do price increases at this time in the BVI?
Why is anyone trying to profit off of this time? At this time, we're supposed to be uniting together and just trying our best as an entire BVI. But now we see where persons are trying to profit off of this situation, and it's really disheartening. We see it, the supermarkets, we see the pharmacies, but we also see a crime increase. And you really have to wonder, where are people's minds? Where we're supposed to be thinking about a bigger enemy, we're attacking ourselves.
Yeah, well, I think as a society, we really have to find ways to prevent, like you said, opportunistic greed. It cannot continue. We have to look past that ability to overpower. It's overpowering our responsibility to each other to meet the needs of the community at this point. So when we thought that Irma Maria taught everyone a lesson, clearly this is still a situation in the British Virgin Islands. Now, on the other side of the scope, we see persons like Rotang Wholesale. I'm really, really proud of their effort and promise to freeze prices for the next 30 days. And I think that was effective March 17th, if I remember correctly. So hopefully other businesses can see and follow suit, because this is not a time for us to be playing around. And a lot of persons who need the essentials are in need.
But also, too, just social responsibility. I think the corporate world in the BVI needs to learn a bit of that and be held accountable to that. Consumers need to remember the businesses that are trying to take advantage of the BVI people during this time. We have a say. At the end of the day, yes, now we are vulnerable and we have to use these services and buy the products, but we have to remember who was there in our time of need.
In other countries across the region, we see extreme measures. A lot of persons are boycotting businesses, and again, we do not want to get to that reality here in the British Virgin Islands, but we most definitely need to be more considerate of each other.
Most definitely. So Javon, on to our next story. As the coronavirus continues to affect countries throughout the world, the Caribbean is no different. As of Tuesday, so just Tuesday, the 24th of March, the BVI, St. Kitts and Nevis, and Anguilla were all COVID-19 free. Well, as of today, Friday, the 27th of March, just about 4 days later, all of the recently stated islands have confirmed their first 2 cases. Now, Javon, it seems as though the cases are being confirmed 2 by 2. We see this pattern. On the 25th of March 2020, the BVI confirmed their first 2 cases, which included a 56-year-old male who traveled to the territory from Europe and a 30-year-old male who traveled from New York, United States. Now, Javon, the BVI still awaits, I think it is 9 tests from Capra. And really and truly, I think we all pray that these cases come back negative.
We are praying, and you know, it's scary to even think about what the Honorable Minister said last night. I'm sure these may have been primary and secondary contacts to the 2 persons who were confirmed in the British Virgin Islands. And it's sad to hear him say that a lot of persons, even on self-quarantine, those 107, that 107, I think, they were not obeying the rules at staying home and staying away from people. So at this point, it's a really tragic situation. We just have to hope for the best.
Definitely. So also on the 25th, St. Kitts and Nevis confirmed their first 2 cases. These cases included a patient, a man of 57-year-old female, and a 21-year-old male, all in the same household, both of whom are nationals of St. Kitts and Nevis with a recent travel history to New York, United States. And then just yesterday, Anguilla sealed a deal as the coronavirus has completely infiltrated every island in the Caribbean.
That is crazy.
The islands confirmed its first 2 cases around 1:05 p.m. yesterday as Capra tests returned. The cases included a 27-year-old female visitor and a 47-year-old male resident of Anguilla, which is a close contact to the visitor. We see some statistics. We see where the coronavirus has completely infiltrated the Caribbean. Since December, January, the coronavirus has trickled through the world. We see that China went through it. Spain and Italy is currently still going through it, but now the United States is taking their hit. And here we see the Caribbean are very, home is dealing with this situation.
It's a lot. The numbers are climbing. Like you said, China originally was the epicenter of this crisis. That has changed as of, I think, 2 days ago. The U.S. has surpassed China with the most confirmed cases in the United States. Still, the record for deaths remains in China. We see those numbers climbing in Italy as well. It's devastating. And now, unfortunately, here in the Caribbean region, we see numbers well over 1,000. It's scary to think about. But viewers, we have a lot more coming your way. Honorable Sharie De Castro, she's appealing to the younger generation to ensure that we know what we must do in this time of crisis. And also, 2 persons have been arrested for disobeying or not complying with the curfew in place. Stick around for more 284 News.
How may I assist you? Yes. You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. Now, as young people across the world are still seen ignoring social distancing and breaking curfews, Honorable Sharie De Castro is now appealing to our youth to be smart in this time of crisis. Now, viewers, initially health experts said that the younger generation is less susceptible to the virus, but of course that has changed significantly. Here's what Honorable Sharie De Castro has to say.
My message to our young people is this: we are vibrant, and sometimes we feel we are invincible. And as young people, we believe that we are not generally affected by COVID-19. However, based on what we have seen happening in other countries, no one should feel that they are exempt from this virus. COVID-19 does not discriminate in terms of who becomes affected. As youth, we can also put our loved ones, especially our grandparents, at risk. So let us adhere to the rules and restrictions that are being put in place.
Now, Kyla, Sharie made a very valid point about the fact that this virus, viewers, does not discriminate. We spoke about the persons who are considered the most vulnerable, and that's, of course, the elderly population. But we've seen young people walking around, probably not within the BVI, but across the region and on the international shores, walking around pretending as if they're immune to this thing. Especially here in the BVI, we've seen recently persons crowding the supermarkets, crowding the pharmacies, even though we have 2 confirmed cases with so many persons on watch.
But also too, Javon, just to stop you there, even up to today, we see where bars and establishments where young people normally would hang out, hosting events or, a last run through or whatever. And I'm just astonished by it.
Yeah, a lot of persons are really not taking this seriously, and it really begs the question, do we really understand the complexity of what's going on here? For those persons who have not been following what's going on the international scene, let's just take a look at the level of resistance by young people just a few days ago in Miami.
What are they doing? Hey, get out the way. No. Hey, there's the right way to do shit and a proper way. Y'all the wrong way, bro.
Now, Kyla, when the governor had announced that we will be under curfew, he did make it very clear that this is not a last-minute opportunity to go catch a last party or a last drink. This is an opportunity to prepare yourselves to the best of your ability to, first of all, be indoors for the next 6 days consecutively, and secondly, to ensure that you're protected from the virus itself. I mean, you protecting yourself ultimately means that you're protecting the people around you, especially those persons who are prone to get the virus, or those persons who are most affected, which of course is the elderly population.
But persons and young persons need to also understand that you can be a carrier of the virus, and I think it's very selfish to expose yourself or possibly expose yourself to something and then you're spreading it. You can spread it to your grandparents, you can spread it to your parents, so you have to be very mindful of that.
Definitely. Well, viewers, according to ABC News, this might be shocking for a lot of persons, considering the fact that, again, the older generation is the persons who are more prone to the disease. But out of ABC News, we're learning that 40%, that's 40% of those persons hospitalized with the coronavirus are younger than the age of 54. And again, not because you're young, it means that you are invulnerable. We've seen many viral videos of persons having to seek intensive care across the world, and we're also seeing overwhelming numbers in the older bracket. But again, nobody is immune to this virus. Secondly, like you said, Kyla, you may contact the virus and show mild, or some persons are asymptomatic, show no symptoms, but unconsciously you may be spreading the virus to persons around you, including younger and older people. So again, viewers, it's very essential that as young people, like Honorable Sharie De Castro said, we have a responsibility not only to protect ourselves, but we almost have a societal and a moral responsibility to ensure that we are protecting the people around us.
Most definitely.
Our viewers, again, reminding you to wash your hands, sanitize, cough or sneeze into your elbows, and most importantly, stay home. We have a lot more news coming. Oh, Kyla, you have another one too?
Yes, I do. So let's talk a little bit about this. So the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force has arrested 2 persons for breaching the government's imposed territorial curfew. The individuals were apprehended Thursday night, which was last night, when they were caught out during after hours.
Wow.
The Commissioner of Police, denounced their behavior, which he described as irresponsible, and I can agree. He pleads with persons to please comply with the laws of the territory, to please comply with the Curfew Act, and to stay indoors, and most importantly, to stay safe. The Royal Virgin Islands Police Force will be on high alert for persons breaking the curfew, especially those who plan to use the curfew to commit crimes. Now, we say it over and over again. We're just encouraging persons to stay indoors, to stay safe. As your story stated, I think young persons specifically are being very irresponsible and is not taking this seriously. I think it was in the press conference where the premier and the leader of the opposition, they continuously said, this is an enemy that we can't see. And I think that's why persons aren't taking it seriously, because we take it as a joke. We're not as affected as other places, but we never know. And taking these precautions now is what would save us in the end.
And we also have to think about the fact that the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force, which is of course considered is an essential service, they're essentially putting their lives at risk to ensure that we are protected. So please make their jobs easier, do the right thing, stay home and stay safe.
Most definitely. So viewers, don't worry, the countdown is on, but we have a list of things that you can do while you're on lockdown. Stay tuned to 284 News. We'll be right back.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Brilliant Hands and Minds tutoring services, one-on-one tutorials in math and English, intense homework assistance, academic enrichment, school projects, effective communication and public speaking development, sign language for adults and children on Saturdays only. Registered with the Virgin Islands High School Certificate Program, Brilliant Hands and Minds can help you too. Offering intense curriculum-based training to help you or your loved ones get their high school diploma. It's time to make your family's education a #1 priority. Hurry, space is limited. Brilliant Hands and Minds Learning Center. We are the trained education professionals.
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. Now, just under 5 hours, we'll be going into a mandatory lockdown. Residents across the territory are currently out and about to ensure that they grab their last-minute essentials. Now, some businesses we've seen across the territory are beginning to board up as we speak. Persons are ensuring that they have all their equipments, whether that's their desktops, laptops, for persons who will be working at home. But all in all, we see persons across the territory, Kyla, getting ready to be indoors from tonight, 8 p.m. until April 2nd. Now, all of us, except the essential workers who are required to be on duty, and those are very specific to the following. Officers of private security service providers, as defined in Section 2 of the Private Security Industry Act 2007, if they are on duty. Customs and immigration officers, if they are on duty. Public and private sector waste management services, fuel distribution and delivery services, public and private sector social care providers, courts, which includes the senior magistrate and coroner. We also see mortuary services, humanitarian support, emergency call handlers, freight courier and cargo distribution, apostille and related statutory services, laundry services, media and broadcast providers. So of course we will be bringing you live extensive coverage of all things happening on the grounds within the British Virgin Islands. Also farming, agriculture, fisheries and veterinary services, transportation services, providing transportation of course for the essential and critical operations, supermarkets and restaurants, providing services to and for essential and critical operations, and we also have the Health and Emergency Operations Center. Now, Kyla, a lot of persons are still debating who are essential and who's not. The Honorable Minister for Health made clear that list last night. So viewers, again, if you are not within that list, especially if you're not on duty, please ensure that you stay home. Again, repercussions are in place. Persons will be reprimanded, as you've seen the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force.
Is not playing.
Yes, reprimanding persons, arresting them. You might be warned, but you could be one of those persons arrested.
Most definitely. But viewers, lockdown does not have to mean the end of the world. So do not panic. We here at 284 Media has compiled a list of things to do while on lockdown. So now, Javon, first, before we go into that, what will you be doing during the lockdown?
I will definitely be working.
We will be working.
Doing a lot of work, but I do plan to get into some cooking and really using this time to reconnect with self. I think a lot of us overlook that opportunity, reconnecting with family, with self, and with friends.
And most definitely. So viewers, here is some things that you can do. You can read a good book.
Very good suggestion.
Most definitely. I like this one. Do a free online short course or head over to YouTube University. YouTube have anything that you want to learn, just go on there and learn something new.
Yeah, they're filled with many tutorials. Whether you want to grab a new recipe, maybe you want to learn how to do makeup. You know,
definitely.
YouTube definitely has a wealth of information there.
Yep, and as you said, spend some time with loved ones. I think just in the hustle and the bustle, we don't get a time to stop. Here is your opportunity to just stop and embrace and just love on the persons closest to you. So definitely make sure you do that. We have Netflix and a little bit of chilling, whatever that means. Whatever that means
for you, viewers.
Yes, but make sure you catch up on some Netflix, amazing shows and movies. I will be doing a little bit of that in between all the coverage that we're gonna give the persons, the Netflix part. I mean. Yes, and cooking and just experimenting with drinks and foods and everything. There's a lot you can do.
There's a lot, definitely. One of my suggestions would be to go live. I mean, a lot of persons have been doing this. We've seen it recently locally. A lot of DJs are going live. A lot of bands just recently. Extreme. I think last night the Extreme band had well over 300 viewers. They were stealing some of the Premier's views. You know, he was about to go live, but just a healthy, happy way to share and just release the stress of what's going on.
Exactly.
And again, it doesn't matter what you do. A lot of persons are into different things. You know, you can go live, share a recipe, share what you're cooking for the health and fitness experts as well.
Yes, but just look at that. Internet keeps us so connected. So if you're the person who normally goes out on a Friday or a Saturday, your favorite DJ goes live, you can have that party in your house.
And here's what I know for sure. I'm not promoting, drinking alcohol or anything. I know a lot of bottles have gone off the shelves at the local supermarket. So I know a lot of persons will be having a lot of fun at home. But please, again, even though you're at home, drink responsibly. And again, the list is long. If you are into finance, maybe you could share a video on how to budget for a crisis, how to deal with anxiety and mental issues. So I'm imploring all our health professionals, just do your part. I know yoga is definitely something I'll be looking into. I know Dr. Kalisa, she's into that, and she's been sharing a lot of videos. And if you don't want to do a live, you can definitely join one. Just recently we saw DJ D Nice from the United States of America going viral. He started a live with just about 200 persons, and that live grew to 100,000 persons on at the same time. Now, that is not the only mind-blowing part. You had celebrities like Oprah Winfrey. You had Buju Banton on the live. So many persons across the globe. And again, it brings us back to the fact that music is truly a universal language, and people need the consoling at this point in time. And, music does that for you. It consoles and it makes us happy.
Most definitely.
And of course, for persons like us working from home.
Lots of persons are actually working from home right now. So don't forget to do that. You still have...
Treat it like a job.
Yes, you do have an obligation to your job. So make sure you get in those hours and just keep it running.
All right. Do some cleaning while you're at it. And do not forget to tune in to 284 Media. Viewers, just look at it this way. We are in lockdown because we need to flatten the curve, and that's a term we've been hearing over the last couple of weeks. Flattening the curve means we slow the spread of this virus, and we give our hospital a really fair chance to deal with patients without being overwhelmed, without overwhelming the healthcare system. Like the Honorable Minister said, we only have so much test kits, so much capacity for patients, future patients. So it's very important that we act responsibly. And, a lot of persons are saying, Kyla, that 6 days is too long. And I'm wondering if they understand that, without 6 days in place, we possibly could, this could push us back for 6 years. And so it's very important, again, viewers, we're not saying this to be repetitive. This is a national crisis that has crippled a lot of countries across the world. Just yesterday, over 700 persons died in Italy. This could easily cripple the British Virgin Islands with a population under 40,000.
Yes.
We ought to be responsible and do the right thing.
Most definitely. And we just want persons to just be responsible. Be responsible for yourself, but also the people around you. Stay safe, stay indoors. Yeah.
All right, viewers, that is it for today's News Roundup. We want you to follow us on 284media.com and like us at 284BVI on Instagram as well as Twitter. My name is Javon Wilson.
And I am Kyla Kenesha Forbes, reminding you that even in this crisis, you can depend on us to bring you your daily dose of regional, international, and local content. Enjoy this time with your family, and if your friends are over, just make sure to stay safe. 284 News, your source for honest and impartial news, right here on 284 Media. Have a happy Friday, and make sure to stay safe.
Yes.
Some claim that the age of a true gentleman is far behind us, but here at 284 Media, we disagree. He may appear in different guises today, but the values and ideals that make him a gent still stand. 284 Media proudly presents its newest talk show, The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, with yours truly, Ron Grant. A show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. Don't worry, it's not all about suits and bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, a 284 Media production.